It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, October 1st. I hope everyone is doing well. I am struggling a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Israel is majorly under attack, so I am like glued on my eyes. I mean, my eyes on my phone right now. Israel has just endured 500 rocket attacks from Iran, which is obviously very scary. um, Missile attacks, plus terrorist attacks on the ground. As you know, I have family there. I am um, very, very connected to the country. So this is a big deal. It's very scary. It should be for the world. It's not just about Israel, but you know where my thoughts are. So just be kind if I'm a little bit distracted today, although we will definitely have a show. But I will be kind of like, just let me know if I need to like I don't know. I don't know what you would let me know about, but Israel is so strong. That's the one thing about that country. And I've already lost followers just from saying pray for Israel on my Instagram account. I'm sure here on YouTube people will be like, WTF, you like Israel? I can't even believe it. Yes, yes, of course. I am always going to pray for Israel. No country is perfect, but I do believe in every country having the right to defend themselves. Israel has the right to defend itself and will continue to defend itself. And so don't expect this to go away because unfortunately they retaliate. If you come after them, they will retaliate. We stand for Israel. I stand with Israel. My family does. Um, Also, tomorrow is the eve of Rosh Hashanah, which is the new year. It's Simchat Torah is actually where we are right now. Israel in general is getting ready to go into a time of what should be celebration. It is a little weird. We're a year out from October 7th almost, so this is really, really a very challenging time for anyone that has struggled since then. This is a pop culture show. I really always struggle with where the line is. How much can I talk about? What can I say without turning so many people off? I understand this is an incredibly polarizing subject. I've lost a lot of people in my life, personal and professionally, over the last year. And I still speak because I'm not going to change my mind to get you to like me more. This is who I am, right? Like I will still put Sharpies on my eyebrows when I talk about Sob and Robin. Some of you guys don't like it, but this is who I am. So I guess I can't really apologize for feeling the way I feel. We can't only talk about like the amazingness of Adam Brody and nobody wants this as a Jewish rabbi and not talk about the fact that, really Jews have been in general, what Meredith said on Salt Lake City is real. The and I don't really want to talk about this because I know I'm gonna get hated on and I'm scared to. I'm not I don't want to say I'm scared. I wear this every single day. I wear my Magen David every single day on my wrist, right? It's here and I talk with my hands. I'm very aware that when I speak, you guys see this about me. The scariest thing I think you can do in life is hide who you are, right? Whether it's your religion, your sexuality, your beliefs, everything. I think we need to be proud of who we are and be confident with who we are. Hiding is exactly what we had to do during the Holocaust. A lot of Jews had to hide the fact that they were Jewish. They had to hide their stars. They had to take their mezuzahs down. We won't do that, right? I won't do that. So, yeah, we're just not gonna we're not gonna have that conversation. Okay. If you are here and you like my show, I am so sorry if this triggers you in any way, if this upsets you, if this hurts you, and this is a sensitive subject, but it's happening currently as we speak. Hundreds of missiles are attacking a very, very small country. So we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that. Just like we talk about all kinds of disasters. I've spent time talking about the hurricane and horrible things that happened in the last few days on the East Coast. Like I am thinking about you guys. I've donated. I will like continue to think and pray for you guys. Anyone that is out there. Obviously, you're not watching my show if you have no power. Although I just saw someone, Lisa said day 5, no power. But you're watching my show. So wow. I truly believe that um you know prayer matters, thinking of others, sending light, love, all of those things. On Friday night, I said to my kids, "We're lighting Shabbat candles." I said, "But we don't do that often. Like, we'll light Shabbat candles if we go to a Shabbat dinner or whatever. We don't do that every weekend. Mom, why?" And I was like, "This is a time where truly we need to, bring light to the world. It is a tough effing time. Like, this is a tough timeline we're on right now. With the election coming up, with the world war escalating, with the just like the Diddy darkness. Like, there's just so much darkness. Like, we gotta light it up. And I am really, really hoping that everything is okay. Anyway, I'll probably regret that because I'll probably get about a million one-star reviews on the podcast app, which I do every single time because they call me an effing Zionist. And what can I do? It's so hard for me. I don't have a filter with certain things. I really try so hard to filter certain things out. But when it's so current, it's really hard to. Okay. Anyway, for those of you that are here and want to talk about all kinds of pop culture, you've turned into the right place. It is your daily dose of Donna. Let's try to have a fun hour. Let's be light and tight and bring a smile to your face. Welcome to the show. Oh my goodness, you guys. We've got some stories today. There's stories about all kinds of things happening. But something that just popped up and I just have to get into it really fast. I hear someone in the comment page said Diddy press conference at 2 p.m. Eastern time, but that's right now because it's 11 a.m. Pacific time. So let me know if there's a Diddy press conference. But speaking of Diddy, I just saw this. I think this is kind of interesting. Wendy Williams. Did you guys watch that 2-part documentary about Wendy Williams? I did. And it really left a bad taste in my mouth about Wendy Williams. It was really unfortunate to watch. It was really, really sad. But Wendy Williams breaks silence on Diddy's sex trafficking investigation years after she was criticized for speaking out against the disgraced rapper. Wendy Williams has spoken out in the wake of the arrest, claiming it was about time the disgraced rapper was investigated. It says, heralded for decades as rap royalty, Combs is currently awaiting trial at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center in New York on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution, amongst other things. Just you wait. Now, Wendy Williams has also been openly critical of the disgraced music mogul throughout her career, so was unsurprisingly relieved to learn that he is being investigated. She told Daily Mail exclusively, "What is really weird is that I have been told by so many people, Wendy, you called it." The popular TV host, who said she was doing good in the wake of her aphasia diagnosis and health concerns, said she was horrified at the video of Combs accusing his then girlfriend, Cassie, in the hotel. She says, "You know how I feel about that? It's about time to see that video on TV of Cassie getting pummeled. It was just horrific. But now you have to think, how many more times? How many people? How many more women? It's just so horrible." So, I posted a clip of Diddy on Wendy Williams' show in 2017. I posted it on my TikTok and on Instagram, and so many people's comments were like, she knew. She was the only one that knew. She was. And the truth is, if you go back and watch old clips, she really was the only one that was talking about him in a negative way publicly before Cat Williams ever did, before Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal and all these other people. She told us in 1998, a comment said, "Don't forget that Wendy Williams told us exactly who Sean Combs was back in 1998, 26 years ago," which is also scary to think about that was 26 years ago. Because in my eyes, 26 years ago was 1980. Like, how is that? How was 1998 26 years ago? Okay, I digress. The point is that this is obviously something she had an idea of. I want to know the backstory of why she brought him on her show in 2017. I want to know what happened there. I'm curious if like there was a threatening situation, if he basically said like, "Listen, maybe through his people or whatever, I'm coming on your show and you're showing me that we have the respect so that people think that whatever you said in the past never mattered." I don't know. I don't know what exactly happened there, but it is interesting because I do believe she knew in her heart he was scary and he was bad. And even on that interview, when she brings him on the couch, like she doesn't look herself. She doesn't look at ease. She doesn't look in control of the conversation. It's really interesting. So I'm curious to know, what happens there. In terms of Diddy, I did see an article last night about Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher, my thoughts. Ashton Kutcher apparently is nervous that he is going to be talked about by Diddy in lies, meaning he's nervous that Diddy is going to make up false allegations about his celebrity friends to clear his name in his sex trafficking trial. He regrets his friendship with Diddy. I'm sure he does, just like he regrets his friendship with Masterson, right? It's always easy to regret your friendship after the fact, but when you're in it and seeing all the shit happen, it's not so easy to get out of there, right? Um, It says he fears the disgraced music mogul will willingly lie to authorities about his famous friends if it meant it could clear his own name. He's currently awaiting trial at Brooklyn. We know that Combs is currently awaiting trial, but Kutcher has been close friends with him for close to 2 decades, with the duo speaking highly of each other over the years, and the actor even attending many of his parties. Uh, Now he's terrified that, he's going to say something. Listen, I think, in my opinion, I think that from a video I've seen is that they're going to be put into situations, Diddy's going to be put into situations where he's going to be given like the idea of if you say something, we can remove some guilt from you. We can remove the sentence a little bit, lower the charges, lower this and this and that. And I do believe that a lot of people at this point will be breaking NDAs, will be saying things out of school, will be kind of throwing people under the bus because at this point everyone that was engaged in this behavior, because obviously it wasn't Diddy alone, are they're like, what's it called? Treading water. They're like doggy paddling, right? They're trying their hardest to keep their head above the water. And so if they can't swim and someone is next to them, they will push that person down to get themselves a little bit more of a lift. And I think it's going to happen. And I think it would be really surprising to me if it doesn't happen, if more people don't get named. What's crazy is that one person just told me that um, in this press conference, they're saying there's 100 more victims. I mentioned this over the weekend, I believe, on my stories, but there's a Texas lawyer who is now signed over 50 plus victims, alleged victims of Diddy. I do believe that there is 100% a long line of people that are not out yet with their experiences. And yes, a lot of this was like fun conspiracy theory. Oh, is it? Is it? Like yesterday when we were talking about the Brittany Murphy. But at the end of the day, the true facts are that this man has been accused of incredibly violent, awful criminal acts, whether it's trafficking, whether it's grape, whether it's, threats, etc. This is not a good man. So take out all the conspiracies. Diddy is still personally responsible for a lot of illegal behavior. And someone sent me a clip this morning saying it was from an art interview that he did, an aired interview that he did with uh Snoop Dogg was in this interview, which I was like, oh God, don't tell me Snoop and Diddy had a connection because I love me some Snoop. But let me show you really fast what this clip said. And I'm like, this guy just was so confident Diddy was so confident about who he was that he just didn't have any care in the world about kind of just like showing us who he was. Let me pull it up for you guys. Hold on. This is on a random account called I Am Trap VIP. Okay. And the clip was hold on. I guess this is easier. Let me just let it start from the beginning. Hold on. Here we go.
When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it.
I think Martha Stewart's there too. It's a VH1 thing. It's Martha Stewart. Yeah, I see Martha's name in the back. When I die, oh, this is the Martha Snoop thing. When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it. Yeah, he did. Diddy did it. Now, this morning I was in my workout class, and I love my workout class, but she was playing a playlist, and one of his songs comes on, and it's like the good one, like "Been Around the World," like "Baby Baby," whatever, one of his good songs. And I'm telling you, I was like, "Wait, we're still doing this? Like, we're still listening to Diddy?" And everyone was kind of looking at each other like, "This is weird. Like, should we be listening to this? Like, should we?" And the teacher kind of was like, "Oh my gosh, are we canceling everyone?" And I thought to myself, like, I am not someone that's just like down to cancel people. But I don't believe I can feel really good about listening to his music at this point. I really can't. Like, and I was kind of surprised about her reaction. Like, oh my God. It's like, um, yeah, that's like putting on like Bill Cosby's music. Maybe we don't want to do that. Like, are we listening to Harvey Weinstein music? It's weird. I'm like, Diddy is not someone that we're just, like super left woke culture being like, we're canceling you because you said the wrong pronoun. No, this is a man that like legitimately is probably responsible for multiple deaths, in my opinion, alleged, but definitely responsible for multiple acts of aggression, violence, abuse, etc. Like, I think we actually can cancel him, right? That was so weird to me. It was like a strange experience. All right, let's move on to another story. Before we do that, of course, I want to shout out one of the sponsors of this week's episode, and that is Jenni Kayne. So, yesterday I shared a little video. I'll do that in the background too. But if you guys are looking for some elevated, beautiful pieces, I do believe that Jenni Kayne is a great place to look. Their clothes are timeless. The clothes, the pieces, the shoes, it's timeless, it's elevated. And, fall is in the air. So we're reviving our wardrobes to ensure we're set for the season. Jenni Kayne is an expert in classic elevated wardrobe essentials, iconic and super luxe sweaters. Trust me, like their stuff is insane. Beautiful, like calming. That's how I look at Jenni Kayne's clothes. It just feels calming and it feels timeless and it feels professional and it's good for stuff around the house. She has got great home essentials and accessories, basics, etc. And I have 15% off for you guys. So if you go to jennikayne.com, if you're looking to buy your mom, your sister, your coworker, your boss, a beautiful piece of clothing or an accessory, go to jennikayne.com. That's JENNIKAYNE.com and use code DailyDose15. No one does fall like this brand. They're known for their luxe and cozy sweaters. So I'm really into all of those. Like, you see me when it's cold out. We're in the middle of another heat wave here in LA, but when it's cold out, like I am all about those nice, cozy, comfy, just like cuddle up in bed type of sweaters, but that you can wear them out and they look nice and they're easy to layer. JenniKayne.com, use code DailyDose15 for 15% off. Okay, let's move on to another story. Kristin Cavallari is talking about why she has officially broken up with her 24-year-old boyfriend. Kristin Cavallari is 37. As we've talked about, her boyfriend, Mark Estes from the Montana Boys. If you ask me what the Montana Boys do and who the Montana Boys are, I could tell you absolutely nothing except they're three guys. Are they brothers? Are they friends? Don't know, don't care. I don't know what they do. I think they sing. Maybe they model. They're 24. They're like, literally, they could be my kids. So I was kind of surprised by this relationship too, but I will say that she is a beautiful, successful mother, entrepreneur. She's got so much going for her. She met this guy. They had this flirty little relationship about a year ago on DMs, and then they start hooking up. He's young. He's hot. He was probably obsessed with her. I can see that this relationship was probably hot to trot for a strong while. Now, recently she had him on her podcast, and they had it on YouTube. Let's see if I can find it really fast and we can kind of watch a moment of it together just so you can kind of see their chemistry. I was actually pretty surprised to see kind of how, I don't know, like I thought, to be honest, I thought her podcast is called Let's Be Honest. But to be honest, I found him to be a little bit kind of dead in the eyes. Like he didn't feel to me very interesting to watch. He really didn't. And maybe that's just me, but I was like, okay, like she's into him, but I'm not getting it. Let me show you a little clip of it and tell me what you guys think. This is of her when she was still with him just a few weeks ago. And then, of course, she broke up with him and talked about it today. We'll get into that in just a second. This is 3 weeks ago. He was on her podcast.
I had a weird interaction the other day in a gas station about that.
What do you mean?
One of your people were saying, what she said, she came up and was like, I'm from Canada. She already had an accent, so it's hard to understand. And she's like, I thought she said her name was Montana.
Oh, God.
But she's referring to me as Montana. And I was like, what is going on here?
I'm so sorry.
Then I'm like, oh, you're saying your name's Montana? She's like, no, that's what Kristin called.
To table all those kinds of conversations. Somebody through the internet, you know, like, of course I've thought people were hot, but I've never been like, the fuck, why does this guy like keep coming back? And then I met you and I liked you, but we were also drinking that night. And it was like kind of just a fun, crazy night. Like, it was just fun. But then we went on our first date a few days later and you came and picked me up. And then
the day before Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't go out with you on Valentine's Day. Yeah. I was setting boundaries from the get-go.
Is that what that was?
Well, that was just like...
Okay. I truly believe when I was watching this, I was like, I don't get it. Like, I get it to have really, really amazing, maybe sex, you know, like bring those Dame products into your bedroom. I get it. I don't know if it's like intellectually where she needed. And that's honestly what I felt when I was watching that podcast. I felt like she was struggling a little bit because she's coming down to his level a little bit. I think she's actually a really smart woman. I mean, clearly she's a really smart woman. She's a huge entrepreneur. She's made an amazing business from herself. You have to be smart to do that. Now, she did talk about the breakup on her on her podcast, and you can go ahead and listen to it or watch it. But I will just show you guys, Dear Media, which is her production company, posted a little clip of it. So this is a good kind of way for you guys to watch just a moment of when she's talking about the breakup and why she broke up with him.
Guy. I mean,
Let me start that over. Hold on.
Is such a good guy. And that's what makes it hard. Mark and I broke up, and I'm just going to come out and say it. I broke up with Mark because I just know long term he needs to experience life. You know, he's young. I mean, he is. I know a lot of people will be like, well, no shit. And yeah, no shit. I get it. I've always been well aware that he is 24 and he does need to experience life. It wasn't like I was like ignoring the fact that he was like really just got out of college. Like, I know this isn't a bad thing. I really look at our relationship as such a beautiful relationship, you know, but he will make someone so happy one day and he will have a beautiful family of his own, which he should do. I know that one day he will look back and he will understand it. And I actually think one day he will thank me. Mark is a really good guy.
So it's actually a really sweet moment. And this was kind of bound to happen. I mean, I guess it has happened where a 37-year-old mom marries a 24-year-old guy and it works. Like this does happen and it has happened. And it's giving a little Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher, right? Demi had her kids, her 3 daughters, when she met younger Ashton Kutcher, and they had this amazing, great relationship. However, I do feel like Ashton was shockingly, I do feel like Ashton was a little ahead of Mark in terms of career and business abilities and just connections. And it just made a little bit more sense to me for some reason. This one, I didn't see. I didn't see it lasting long term. Although she did say that he'd spent a lot of time with her kids. She felt like he was amazing with her kids, and I'm sure that was fine. But like what? All of a sudden he's going to be helping with homework on Friday nights instead of going out and partying. And she probably was partying a whole lot more when she was with him and drinking a lot more because that's what you do. You kind of assimilate into your other partner's lifestyle. Maybe what was happening was he was getting asked by all of his other Montana boys, like, hey, can we, let's go out and like drink tonight. And he's like, I can't. And they're like sitting at home watching, Wednesday with the family or something. So who knows exactly. However, that being said, I have a feeling. I have what's it called? Like a premonition about this one. Do you guys remember that show Passions? This is so random. Do you guys remember that short-lived NBC daytime soap called Passions? I think it was on right after Days of Our Lives. It was when I was in college. So this was in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, maybe early 2000s. I don't even know. I remember there was a show called Passions that I used to watch with my college friends. And there was a woman who was on the show and her name was Charity. And Charity always had premonitions. And I feel like I'm Charity right now. If that isn't a left turn, then I don't even know where it is. So as Charity, with my premonition, I think she got the ick. I think something happened that made her say, he's annoying. I really do believe that. I think she would never break up with him to give him the opportunity to live his life. I just don't see it. I think she broke up with him because he started to annoy the shit out of her. Because he's a 24-year-old kid. Honestly, sorry, man. I mean, I really do. Because in real life and in relationships, like we annoy each other, right? Tell me a man or a woman that you've been with for a year who doesn't annoy you a little bit. So like Lance would annoy me, but you kind of overlook because you see the long term. You see you zoom out, you see like, oh, I have a future with this person. But all of a sudden, like you're with a kid who's like, oh my God, the new Xbox game is out. He was probably like, oh my God, look at this. Like he probably was talking about like One Piece, the show that my, 9-year-old talks about. Or like, oh my God, I got a Roblox game. Yeah. Or like maybe he was just not doing his laundry. Maybe he was, maybe his feet smelled. And he like didn't know how to have proper hygiene. There's a lot of things that could have happened there. Who knows? Who knows? The point is, I think that she had the ick and this was her out. Like, I love you. I care so much about you, Mark. And you're so beautiful. But you deserve to like go out there and just like F the world and drink your face off and party it up and find your wife and have kids. And the truth is, he probably just like didn't clean up after himself. And she was like, I'm out. I'm done. Because when you have kids, there's absolutely, you don't have the patience to parent anyone else. And everyone always jokes like, my husband's my 3rd kid. But that's literally the truth. Your husbands sometimes become a little bit of a 3rd kid, not because we want it to be this way, but because sometimes a lot of women feel like they have to be like, honey, can you put away your dishes? Like, honey, can you This is the best comment. Andrew says, they went to rent a car and he wasn't old enough to rent it. We broke up at Enterprise. They literally broke up at Alamo Car Rental at the counter. They went to Vegas for a weekend away. He tried to rent a car and they said, "Sir, you're too young to rent. Is your mama here?" And he probably was like, I like laughing on days like today. Thank you for making me laugh. You guys are hysterical. Andy says, I was 22 when I met my then 34-year-old husband. We've been together 33 years. Sometimes it works. My sister is with a man 15 years, her senior. So they got together when she was 21 and he was 36. And when I tell you, I thought he was a disgusting, pervy old man. He was 36. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he like all up into my young sister? But then look at them. They've been together since since 2001. They've been together since like 2000 or 2001. They're happy, very happy. So who knows? Okay, let's move on. There's so many other things that we could talk about when it comes to age differences. I think that age differences are going to be hard, but it really depends on who you are. But when you have a younger man and an older woman, I think it accentuates that age difference, especially in that category. That's just my thought. All right. Yes, I see this. Debbie says the guy from Days of Our Lives passed away from pancreatic cancer the day before he turned 70. I talked about this on Patreon. Drake Hogestyn, he played John Black on Days of Our Lives. Such a handsome man. Such a freaking man. You know what I mean? John Black. And he passed away. That made me sad. I saw that. 70 years old. All right, let's move on to another story. Did you guys see Kristin Siriano last night on Days of Our Lives on Watch What Happens Live? Kristin Siriano says he doesn't dress Real Housewives because they don't pay. Isn't that interesting? It's so interesting to me how many times we hear these kind of diva-like stories about housewives. Housewives in the grand scheme of like celebrity are very, very low on the ring. Meaning, if you're walking past like a Julia Roberts or a like a big movie star, someone help me think of it, Sandra Bullock or Reese Witherspoon, people will recognize the crap out of you. The only people that recognize Housewives are Housewives are Housewives fans. Like people don't my mom would never be able to say like, wow, is that woman on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? But then again, my mom also probably wouldn't be able to recognize Julia Roberts in front of her face. So let's take my mom out of the equation. I just think Housewives are A-list stars for us, for Bravo fans. But in real life, they're really not that high up on the ladder. And I think it's funny sometimes, like yesterday with the whole Joel Kim Booster and Shannon Beador story, one of you said in the comments, I don't remember, that you've been Googling this and not a lot is coming out, meaning Joel Kim Booster and Shannon Beador in general are not big news, like at all in the grand scheme of entertainment. In fact, I didn't even see it on Page 6 or anything. We saw it because of Instagram. I didn't see it anywhere else. So it's really interesting that you kind of don't notice a lot of housewives. By the way, I have a little tidbit about the Shannon thing. I have a source, and I posted this yesterday, but I have a source who worked on Love Hotel. And this source was asked, how was Shannon really that bad? And the source said, I mean, they're housewives. We expect all of them to be like a housewife. My opinion from that is, it doesn't sound like Shannon Beador did anything that outrageous to the crew. This is a person that was there for the 3 weeks of shooting. It doesn't sound like there's any part of that feels like that she was, talk of the town. Because the truth is, if she was really as bad as Joel Kim Booster made her out to be, like so bad where she was awful to the crew, then this person would say, yeah, she was pretty much a nightmare. They wouldn't be nervous to say that. But the response was, no, I mean, they're housewives. It felt very much like all of them were diva-like. So I don't believe Michelle says that's not exactly a ringing defense either. No, I do believe they're all wackadoodles. I believe all housewives have a little bit of a diva-like behavior. But what I'm saying is I don't believe Shannon was looked at as like horrible compared to Giselle, Ashley, and Luann. I think they probably all had an elevated sense of diva-like housewife vibes. That being said, let's go back to this. So Christian Siriano says he does not dress Real Housewives because they don't pay. But he said he has a current housewife client, and that is our new Salt Lake City Bronwyn. And he says she's wonderful, and she dresses all in couture and all amazing and this and this and that, which I thought was kind of fun for Bronwyn. I think Bronwyn's a great get for Salt Lake City. I don't know if I'm going to like her. I don't know if I'm going to like her vibes, but she is exactly what we want on Salt Lake City. I think she's beautiful. She comes from a lot of money. She's kind of eccentric with her clothing and her style, etc. So I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like it's gonna be a good look. It's gonna look good for the show. So we'll have to see what happens. Now, Erin Foster was also on Watch What Happens Live. I have to say, from what I saw, I didn't love Erin Foster on Watch What Happens Live. It wasn't my favorite appearance of hers. Like, she's been on podcasts. She has her own podcast. They have a vibe. This Foster girls have a little bit of this kind of cynical, sarcastic vibe. But I felt like her energy was a little off. She felt a little bit uncomfortable in the experience or strangely not herself. I don't know if you felt that way too watching last night. Now, of course, Erin Foster is not only David Foster's daughter, but she's also Yolanda Hadid's ex-stepdaughter. She's also half siblings or ex-half siblings, ex-step half siblings, whatever, with the Jenners, Brody Jenner and his brothers, and the Hadids, which is Yolanda's daughters, Gigi and Bella. And I think, and there's a boy in there, Anwar or something like that. Now, this is interesting because someone asked me actually in my DMs yesterday, this is in the morning, you should do a deep dive between the Foster sisters and the Hadid sisters to see if there's a connection, because they are very on opposite sides of views about a lot of things. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So he did ask, do you ever hear from the Hadids? And Erin said, well, when the parents get divorced, but the kids don't get divorced. So yes, I did hear from, I think she said, I can't remember if she said Gigi or Bella. She DM'd me yesterday, or she messaged me yesterday saying she started watching the show. But that is an interesting deep dive, huh? What the relationships are like between all facets of David Foster, like all people he is connected with in his life in some capacity. It's really wild. So Andy didn't seem to like her shade towards the Housewives franchise. Yeah, she basically said, I don't want to be part of the Housewives. I want to watch the Housewives. I want to laugh at the Housewives. And when Yolanda was on the Housewives, I was too immersed in it to look at it as like a side piece. You know what I mean? So I get that actually for her. I do get that. I think that there is a part of it where if you're on it, or I have to be honest, when Teddy Mellencamp was on the Housewives, it was really hard for me to watch it. It was, because I knew Teddy. And like, when you're friends with someone outside of a show and then you see them on a show, it's confusing to the psyche, which is why it's hard for Teddy to cover shows like OC and Beverly Hills, because these are her friends, like good friends that are on both those shows. It's really a strange thing. I'm glad I'm not friends with any Housewives. I'm glad I'm not friends with any reality stars. Like, I want to keep it this way. I want them to stay there and me to stay here so that I can actually talk about them and not have to get so nervous. I mean, I will get blocked by Jax, but welcome to the club, right? There's a whole Instagram account called Blocked by Jax. So speaking of housewives, there's a couple other housewives news that we need to talk about. Brandi Glanville, you guys, Brandi Glanville is not going to do well here. She's just not going to do well. And I worry about her health, her everything, because she posted yesterday on her, I think it was Twitter. She posted something along the lines of, I'll get the statement exactly for you guys. Hold on. She alleges that her lawyers cut ties with her amid her Bravo case and claims they may have been paid off. Okay, lawyers don't get paid off for something like this. But anyway, she said on her Twitter, I mean, you cannot write this shit. I guess I'm doing that now. After a year of telling me how rich I was about to be and how strong my case against Bravo is, my lawyers, in quote, have decided I now don't have a case and cut ties with me. Paid off, maybe, allegedly, with some emojis. Now, Glanville's former lawyers were Brian Friedman and Mark Garagos. Okay, these are major attorneys. They're not getting paid off for a Brandi Glanville, lawsuit. They let her go because they don't think she has a case, because she doesn't have a case. She has no real true evidence. Her evidence was the stupid video that she had of Andy in jest having fun with Kate Chastain, saying like, we're going to think about you tonight and have a threesome or whatever, sleep with another Bravo star while thinking about you. And she responded into it. There was actually no, yes, was it wrong? We've talked about this. There's two things that can be true. Yes, it was wrong, but she doesn't have enough to go after him in this case. And you know that the lawyers were only getting paid if she won. So when a lawyer that only gets paid based on what is taken from the case, what they get paid, what the person who they represent gets out of the case, and then they realize like, we don't have a case, we're spending all our time doing nothing. You know, they probably passed her off to not only just like the law assistant, or they always have like different people in the clerk or whatever. She was given to the intern. She was given to the person that was getting coffee, right? She was probably like, this is she was probably calling literally the receptionist and hoping to get some legal advice. I don't believe that they had a case, and I believe they said, we're out of here. And that makes sense. And what Lori says, Bravo Reckoning has dropped off. Bethany stopped talking about it a long time ago. Leah McSweeney has no case. Brandi Glanville has no case. God knows what's happening with Caroline Manzo in that case. It's like a done deal. And I think if you're smart, you're not going to try to go after NBC Universal and Bravo in this day and age, especially after being on a housewife show and willingly acting a fool. So none of it really fully makes sense. And I don't understand why in the world that she even thought she had a case, or why these attorneys thought they had a case, but they did at the time. And then they don't now. So who knows exactly what's going on there, but I feel for Brandi. I mean, a lot of people feel for Brandi. What I said a long time ago was Brandi Glanville needs to get back onto that podcast. She needs to speak her truth. Podcasts make good money, especially if you're someone like a Brandi Glanville. You have a built-in audience. Get on that podcast, speak your truth, get a lot of downloads, get some sponsors, get some auto ads, etc. No one is doing that. She's not able to do that. And someone told me, well, she's not well enough to do that. She says she's not good enough to pose for OnlyFans. She's not healthy enough to do this. She's not well enough to. What's happening there? Like, what is happening? And it concerns me. Oh my God, that's so funny. Josh says from the legal office, Josh said she got cousin Greg from Succession. I miss Succession. Is there like, that was like the best show ever. There's nothing better. By the way, we talked about this yesterday, but in Nobody Wants This, my show of the week, my show of the month, maybe, because I can't stop talking about it. The girl who played the older brother's girlfriend, Willa, is in the show. Her name is Justin Loop, and she's so funny. She plays Kristen Bell's sister. I've been listening to Armchair Expert this morning, by the way. Adam Brody and Kristen Bell are on that show with Dax. I'm not sure. I mean, I love it, but also at the same time, I don't want to know who Adam Brody is outside of the rabbi. Like, I just want him to be the rabbi in the show. I don't want him to be Adam Brody. You know what I mean? Kind of want them to be separate. So God, I love that Adam Brody. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so funny. Yesterday, Gibson, he's gabbing with Gibbs. He has another podcast. He posted on Threads. I laughed out loud. He posted on Threads, how am I cackling over this? Because Kim Kardashian posted about Nobody Wants This. Because once again, the Aaron Foster connection, they're all related. Kim Kardashian posted about Nobody Wants This on her stories, and she tagged Adrian Brody, which when I tell you over Adam Brody, because Adam Brody, I don't believe is actually on Instagram. He has like a fake account. I don't believe he actually is on Instagram because I think it's a fan account. So I think a lot of people are by mistake saying Adrian Brody, and Kim Kardashian tagged Adrian Brody. And then this is the best thing. Adrian Brody then tagged Kim Kardashian in a post that had nothing to do with her, which cracked me up. I love that he's in on the joke. I'm sure a lot of people are saying, telling him about it. I mean, it's kind of like, where has Adrian Brody been? For real, what is he doing right now? Check this out. I'll share it with you guys. It's actually really cute. He posted on his Instagram, I love New York. Thank you to the New York Times Film Festival, and congratulations to the producers, cast, and crew for the incredible screening of The Brutalist. So I guess he's in a movie called The Brutalist. And it says, many thanks to A24 and Kim Kardashian. Oh my gosh, it's so good. He tags Kim right there under his picture. It's the best promotion for him. Seriously, I bet like so many people are coming here because of Kim Kardashian. I mean, I am. I didn't know anything about The Brutalist. What was that one movie that Adrian was in that he won the Oscar for? What was that movie? Now I'm going to have to Adrian Brody Oscar. The Pianist. Oh my God. Was that not one of the saddest movies? The Pianist? Oh, broke my heart. Okay. And in another sad piece of news, we do have some sad news about Erin Lichy. Now, one of you guys, I don't want to say who unless you tell me I can, told me in a DM a few days ago saying, I believe that Erin Lichy's dad passed away and that's why she's not doing press. And if you guys notice, because RHONY starts tonight. So now we're going to have RHONY on Tuesdays, Salt Lake City on Wednesdays, OC on Thursdays. Like, really, you guys, we're back. We are back. But RHONY is starting tonight. So all those girls have been doing crazy press. We have, Uba and Bryn and Sai and Rebecca Minkoff. Like, they've all been everywhere. And then today, thank you, Andrew. It was Andrew Dominguez. He's so great. He always gives me such good scoop. And today she finally posted. I believe he probably died a couple weeks ago. To me, it looks like she was in Israel because, as you guys know, Erin is Jewish and is Israeli. And she has her dad, who she calls Abba, which is what my son Dylan calls Lance, which is actually really cute. And I am Ima, which is mom in Hebrew to Dylan. But she posted, if you don't remember last season, Abba, her dad, was in the show multiple times. And actually, he was like a very important part of the show because there was a time when they were on vacation. I can't remember where they went. And she was really upset about something. And she called him and she said, Dad, I think, I don't know what I'm going through. I need help. And he walked her through it so beautifully. And I remember even talking about this on the show. Like, it's so nice when an adult has such a good relationship with their dad that they can have that conversation, since I never, ever got that kind of experience in my life. And he passed away. And I guess he was sick because she does say in this post, This is what she says. My heart and soul, my best friend, my courage, my strength, my superpower. How grateful I feel to have had you as a parent to guide me, to uplift me, to teach me how to live life to the absolute fullest. I'll just start kind of going through the pictures as I read it for you guys. Your generosity is unmatched, and I have learned not only how many people you help silently, but what a lasting impression your kindness left. Knowing I won't see you laugh again or sing to me on the opposite end of the phone is a heartbreak I did not know existed, but somehow I know you are all still there. Here on the left is words, I believe, from her eulogy. You have given me the greatest gift, and I cannot feel anything but sincerely grateful for you for being my father. In your last days, you said to me, oh, God, Beli, I used to be able to read Hebrew. Abba, Ali, Abba, Le. I wish I could read it for you guys. Oh, Bli, love, ani ocha. Okay. Without love, she's saying nothing is worth living for. But I want to read lo sh kulam. Kulam. Okay, I'm going to read it all later. Yes, I can read some Hebrew, but it's hard for me. She says, without love, nothing is worth living for. I cried so hard for the natural beauty of that sentence that you so freely let fall from your lips. Your soul is pure, a genuine, happy, loving energy. And you gave us 5, a piece of that. You left this world so beautifully with your 5 children by your side until the very end. And you made it very clear that your dying wish was that us 5, your legacy, stick together. We will honor you every single day. I love you forever, my Abba, my angel. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fact that she's Jewish, Israeli. I don't know what it is, but I cried reading this post. I really like Erin. I don't know. She seems so real to me. I'm a fan of her. Anyway, it's a bunch of pictures of her with her dad through the years, and then this cute picture of a text message he sent her that says, RHONY, first, you are a great mom. Like, there's so many spelling mistakes. For any of you guys that have immigrant parents, I'm raising my hand. Like, so many spelling mistakes. RHONY, first, you are a great mom, and I'm proud of you. You have really the best brothers and sister, and always stick together no matter what. I love all of you more than you can imagine. Instead of imagine, you are my life. I love you a lot. Can't wait that you come back to the city. You guys, I got so sad reading this. I don't know. I'm emotional. Obviously, there's so much going on right now, but I think that it's it's so sad to lose a parent. And right now, in the middle of all of this, and I guess she was in Israel and she was coming back today because on her Instagram post, she was on a flight. So thank God she wasn't there. But that's why she hasn't done any press. And then I just saw right after. So, Erin, I love you. I'm sending you love. I'm sure you're not going to see this, but just so you guys know, Erin she's big in my heart. I really like her. Now, secondly, I will say, Bravo has released the first 5 minutes of tonight. And the first 5 minutes or few minutes of tonight's episode basically is like a behind the scenes look of when they're shooting the opening credits for RHONY. And what they do is this is 5 days after filming wraps. So now that we know, like, production schedules, after filming wraps, they go in and they do the orange or the apple or whatever they're holding for the opening thing. And that's what they did. So it's 5 days after they wrap, and they're doing some weird flashbacks. But apparently, Uba and Bryn, which we've seen traces of this in the trailer, are so at odds with each other. Something happened so big that everyone's like, I can't believe that happened. Whoa, I can't believe that happened. So I'll be interested to see where that goes. I have seen a few minutes of the show already. I've seen Jessel and her husband have this like a hysterical moment where he takes her to some random like hole in the wall restaurants for some Chinese food. I fell in love with Jessel's husband between last season and this season. He's so great to watch on he's like a true food influencer, and it makes Jessel so much more likable because remember how uppity she was last season. So I'll be curious. Sai was also very unlikable in my eyes last season. I hope she kind of grounds herself and doesn't talk about being hungry all the time. And then of course, Bryn is kind of just like bubbly and cute and likable, I think. Rebecca Minkoff, I'm holding her at arm's length. I'm not sure about it. I'm not a fan of having a Scientologist on a Real Housewives show. That's tough for me, but we'll have to see. And then, of course, Jenna Lyons. And then there's a new girl, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head. And then Uba, who I think Uba is stunning, gorgeous, beautiful. But as you remember last season when she like pulled off Erin's sunglasses, was that what happened? Or did Erin take off her sunglasses? Someone took someone's sunglasses. There was big fights. Uba is fiery and she knows how to get in there. So I'll be very curious. Yes, Rebecca's dad is allegedly not a good person. Speaking of fathers, a doctor in Scientology that was responsible for a couple deaths. So horrible. Anyway, we'll have to see because that starts tonight. So tomorrow we'll talk all about RHONY. We'll talk more about Diddy because I'm sure stuff is coming out since there was just this press conference today and I couldn't do any kind of live reporting about that. And yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I just saw a headline. We have to get into it really fast, okay? This is according to Daily Mail, so I am not sure what I'm reading, but I'm telling you what I just saw. It just popped up. Diddy has been accused of abusing a 9-year-old boy and spiking drinks with horse tranquilizer as 120 victims come forward with shocking claims. In bombshell allegations, an additional 120 victims have come forward to accuse rapper Sean Diddy Combs of sex abuse, with several underage victims, including a 9-year-old amongst them. Sick MF. The claims were made by this Texas lawyer, Tony Busby, who's announced he's representing 120 victims who he believes have legitimate cases against the rapper. Of the 120 new victims, 25 were underage when the alleged abuse happened. I'm telling you, I saw a TikTok the other day that I didn't get into detail, but it has a lot to do with underage victims, and it's sick beyond belief. The youngest victims were 9, 14, 15. The high-profile lawyer announced at a press conference in Houston moments ago. The victims came forward mostly after federal prosecutors announced federal indictment against Diddy and arrested him last week. They are scattered through the country, but many are in California, New York, Florida, and Georgia. Much of the abuse happened at parties, such as Diddy's infamous white parties or puppy parties. However, they also happened at auditions where victims, including the 9-year-old boy, was abused by Combs and several other people who promised him a record deal. Mother effer. Yes, we are canceling Diddy. I do not want to listen to his music ever again. And now I definitely will say something. Because you get kids involved, it's over. It's bad enough, but this is disgusting. And as Tamara says, disgusting, but it's absolutely sick in the head to take advantage of underage kids and put them in situations for your entertainment and pleasure is absolutely a sick thing. There's nothing that can be said about him that is in any way redeeming whatsoever. I hope this guy gets burned at the stake. Disgusting. Anyway, you guys, people knew about this. That's the sickest thing. People were around. Many people had said at record parties, at record deals, at puppy parties. I heard the black parties. I told you guys that yesterday. Remember what I heard on a TikTok? Beyond. All right, you guys. Sorry about ending it on that note. Hopefully tomorrow's a little lighter and tighter, you guys. Thank you for supporting me at the beginning of the show. I really appreciate you. I love you. I don't want this show to become like a polarizing political place. This is just my personal show, so it's going to have some personal opinions. Oh, Holly says that they said that some victims had went to the police years ago. Oy vey. Okay, it's a developing story. We'll obviously be on top of it here. I love you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow.